Coming up today on NewsCenter 15, the Saudi government prepares to concede in regards to a missing writer.
And U.S. Steel Corporation announces a new contract to cover thousands of workers.
We've got these stories and more. NewsCenter 15 starts right now. Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday's edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Landon Santini.
And I'm Jared Ruffin.
Topping our news this afternoon, Saudi Arabia is reportedly ready to concede that a missing Saudi writer was killed in its consulate in Istanbul. CNN reports that the Saudi government is preparing to say Jamal Khashoggi died during an interrogation that went wrong. The report was attributed to two unnamed sources. It says one of the sources told them that the intention was to abduct Khashoggi and it had not been authorized by the Saudi government. President Donald Trump told reporters Monday that he was aware of the report but did not know if it was correct. He says the U.S. is working with Saudi Arabia and Turkey to figure out what happened.
Sears filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection Monday with plans to shutter 142 unprofitable stores in the hopes that it can stay in business. The question now is whether a smaller version of the company that once towered over the American retail landscape can be viable. Sears was started in the mall order catalog in the 1880s, has been on a slow march toward extinction as it lagged far beyond its peers and incurred huge losses over the years to peak. The operators of Sears and Kmart had 4,000 stores in 2012, but will now be left with a little more than 500. Hopes remain that smaller amount of stores can help focus on the company's direction and lead it to future success.
Well, now that we've certainly begun seeing the fall weather in full swing, what do you think is going to happen this week?
Well, here's the first look at the weather. I think that it'll be okay. The weather shouldn't be too bad. It's gotten a little cooler, but hopefully it doesn't rain anymore.
Well, let's find out from one of our own. What do you say?
Okay, that sounds great. Here's going to be the first look at the weather with Jessica Hill.
Hi guys, so here we have our forecast just for today. It feels like 44, it's definitely jacket weather out there. The humidity is 68, so you can actually breathe today. It's not so bad. The high of 54, so wear your jackets all day. It's not t-shirts or shorts weather day, sorry guys. The dew point's 34 degrees, so not quite raining, but it goes along with that humidity. The UV rating moderate, so even though it doesn't feel like it, it's all cloudy outside, you still have to worry about the sun, weirdly enough. Sunrise was at 7:36, sunset is at 6:45. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Jessica. Hurricane Michael's death count has thus far been unknown. The destructive storm has wreaked havoc all across Florida's panhandle. Meanwhile, search and rescue teams have looked through the rubble of buildings in areas such as Mexico Beach, which was wiped out when Michael ripped through it last week, with an estimated death toll of 17 people. Search and rescue operations are still far from over, however, as officials are continuing to search for survivors that were caught in the path of the hurricane. Officials have stated that they expect to see the death toll continue to rise.
Negotiators for the U.S. Steel Corporation and United Steelworkers have announced an agreement on a 4-year contract covering thousands of employers around the country. Details weren't announced pending ratification meetings, which the union said would take place in the coming weeks. U.S. Steel said the contracts cover about 14,000 union-represented employees. The union said its figures of 16,000 workers covered, including members laid off on sick leave or on disability. Company officials say the contract cover workers in its domestic flat, rolled and iron ore mining facilities, as well as tubular operations in Alabama, Ohio, and Texas.
Coming up next, an art display takes place in Parkersburg.
Plus, President Bill Rood gets a contract extension.
We'll be back after this.
I never chew tobacco.
I don't drink much.
Never smoked a cigarette in my life.
HPV. Isn't that about cervical cancer?
What does that have to do with oral cancer?
HPV? Didn't know that.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
Monroe County Dog Warden Rhonda Piott said she sees potential in a pond that sits next to the Monroe Achievement Center near Woodsville, Ohio. For the last 2 years, she has been seeking funding to build a new animal shelter near that pond to replace a nearby 3-year-old shelter that has seen better days. The project, which is still in the planning stages, could be completed as early as next April. Piott says the project would be beneficial not only to the animals, but to the community. The nearby Mako Workshop is a state-chartered organization that provides work for adults with developmental disabilities, and Piott said she intends to hire people from the workshop to help run the new shelter along with herself.
The state of West Virginia has had many talented artists, as seen through an exhibition on display in Parkersburg Art Center. The 71st Allied Artists of West Virginia juried exhibition featuring 79 pieces from artists around the state is on display at the Arts Center on the 8th and Market Streets through November 10th. A reception was held Sunday for the opening show as people got to look at the various works and talk with many of the artists. This is the Allied Artists of West Virginia's 18th juried exhibition starting in 1934 at the Parkersburg Show Art Center.
A Pioneer Ladies Civitan Style Show and Salad Supper will be held at 6 p.m. Tuesday at the Knights of Columbus Hall. 308 Gilman Street, doors open at 5 p.m. and the admission fee is $15. There will be fashions by Pebbles, Cato and Christopher Banks, and a purse auction by Williams Auctioneer. Door prizes will be drawn all night and raffle tickets will be sold.
During an executive session on Thursday, Marietta College Board of Trustees unanimously approved a 2-year contract extension for William N. Rood. Rood has become the 19th president since Marietta was founded in 1835 after joining the college in 2016. Will be with the college through 2020 or 2022. With the college in a quiet phase of a comprehensive capital campaign, the board believed it was important to maintain a continuity and leadership according to the release.
Coming up next, we'll take a look at what is happening around the region.
We'll be back after this.
And you can't forget about the weather. We'll figure it out. We'll have your 5-day forecast. We'll be able to tell you what to wear and if you could be outside or not. Coming up next.
November is No Shaver Month at City of Hope. That means throughout November, to raise awareness about prostate cancer, City of Hope is urging men to stop shaving and get screened. But here's my problem. When I grow out my beard, I end up like this. I mean, have you ever? And you know how long this took me? What do I have? A couple of little hairs here? I mean, man, it's useless. How about this? How about this? Very Lincoln-esque, don't you think? How about this? Oh, you put them. Well, that's not the way I heard it. For all you men watching, do what I can't. Let your beards grow. And while you're at it, get screened. No shaver with City of Hope. Grow it, show it, know it.
Police say a man has been shot and killed during a drug investigation in Ohio's capital city. The shooting happened this past Monday morning on the west side of Columbus. Franklin County Sheriff Dallas Baldwin said officers had come to the house as part of an undercover drug investigation. The name of the victim was not released, and the State Bureau of Criminal Investigation has been called in to help.
Authorities say a driver in Ohio hit an Amish buggy and injured all the 7 people in the horse-drawn vehicle. The State Highway Patrol says Patrick Muscard failed to maintain a safe distance and struck the rear of the buggy driven in the Sullivan Township near Ashland, Ohio. Troopers say 3 of the riders were flown to the hospital with serious injuries, while the other 4 were taken to a local hospital for treatment. The patrol says Muscaro was arrested on the charge of operating a vehicle under the influence.
An Ohio-based nonprofit named for humorist James Thruber has announced the finalists for the country's top humor writing prize. Each year, the Thruber House, based out of Columbus, awards the Thruber Prize for American humor. Comedian Trevor Noah won last year for Born a Crime, his memoir about growing up in South Africa. This year's finalists include authors Jenny Allen, John Hogman, and Patricia Lockwood. The 2018 winner will be announced on December 5th in Columbus. Well, today in the entertainment news, a certain vampire movie returns, and is going to the movies getting cheaper?
Riley Whale has that and more in the Hollywood Minute.
10 years may not belong to a vampire, but Fathom Events is celebrating the 10th anniversary of Twilight by bringing Bella and Edward back to theaters. More than 450 U.S. cinemas will show Twilight on Sunday, October 21st and Tuesday, October 23rd. Like China, film regulators in the world's second biggest movie market have finally announced a release date for the rom-com Crazy Rich Asians with the Western Asian cast, November 30th, 3.5 months after its U.S. debut. Some industry observers had wondered whether the film's portrayal of over-the-top wealth would prompt China's censors to reject the movie. Here's a switch. Movie tickets are actually getting cheaper. Sort of. The National Association of Theater Owners say the average U.S. movie ticket in the third quarter of this year cost $8.83. That's down 55 cents from the second quarter. Why? The box office is booming, including family-oriented films such as Hotel Transylvania 3, Summer Vacation, and Smallfoot, which means theaters are selling more children's and matinee tickets, which cost less and bring the average down. In Hollywood, I'm Riley Wall.
Thanks a lot, Riley. I don't know about you. Did you see any of those movies she mentioned? I thought Crazy Rich Asians was okay, if a little slow.
You know, I appreciated the fast pace of it. I'm going to have to disagree with you right there.
Oh,
I
really?
really liked the speed of it, and, you know, it made me laugh.
Well, speaking of the speed, let's see if we've got any kind of weather conditions coming up, such as rain. And to do that, we'll go back to Jessica Hill at the weather wall for the 5-day forecast.
Hi guys, so here we are. We have our low temperature charts. As you can see, we're just about in the 40s for now, which is like what we explained earlier. That's about in the middle. And here we have our high temperatures. We're getting right back with the high of around low 60s probably. So that's going to be a nice average to go between. Still want to make sure that you're like wearing pants and sweatshirts. Here you can see we don't actually have that much condensation coming our way. You can see that down here in the south we have a whole bunch, but up where we are it's mostly just cloud coverage, so we don't have to worry a lot about rain today. As you can see, a lot of cloud coverage, so not really the best days to go out, take picnics or Instagram photos because it will be cloudy and affect your lighting. And then here we have our 5-day forecast. So as you can see, Tuesday, we are going to be having some cloudy weather, which works with all of the clouds coming our way, with a high of 54 and a low of 42. Wednesday, we have a high of 56. It's actually sunny. Yay, warm weather-ish. And then a low of 35. Thursday, it's going to be sunny again with a high of 51 and a low of 34. And then getting into the weekends, it's going to start raining. We have showers on Friday with a high of 54 and a low of 49, so waterproof jackets around then. And then Saturday, even more rain with a high of 55 and a low of 40. That's all that I got. Back to you guys at the desk.
Well, if it was going to rain at some point, I guess it's better this weekend than last weekend, right?
Very
Well,
true.
when we come back, Raymundo Pastor will have the latest from the world of sports.
Stay with us.
Cancer may be tough, but we are tougher. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Our game-changing research has led to the belief that the cures for cancer are in our blood. We are the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Beating cancer is in our blood.
Come on, let's go.
Hey, hi, what's your name? You live around here? You're pretty. Where are you guys going? Where are you going? Where are you going?
Guess it's about time to get you fixed, sweetie.
Your pets will start getting noticed sooner than you think. Accidental litters lead to millions killed in shelters each year. Help prevent more. Fix at month 4.
And now we're back with Raymundo Pastor for a look at sports.
What do you have for us, Raymundo?
Ohio State expects to get back a couple of key starters who were injured to add back to their defense this week when traveling on the road to Purdue to take on the Boilermakers. These players include starting linebacker Malik Harrison and starting defensive end Jonathan Cooper, who were both under concussion protocol after the Indiana game. In addition, starting defensive tackle Robert Landers and starting cornerback Damon Arnett could see action on the field in the very near future. This should provide a boost to Buckeyes defense that gave up almost 400 total yards to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, despite beating them 30-14. Larry Nance Jr. signed a 4-year contract extension on Monday with the Cavaliers, the team his father starred for and the one he hopes to help rebuild without LeBron James. The 25-year-old Nance joined the Cavs midway through last season, after he was acquired in a trade from the Los Angeles Lakers. He helped Cleveland reach its 4th straight NBA Finals, and the Cavs view him as one of their core players as they try to stay competitive while James starts anew out west with the Lakers. The Milwaukee Brewers shut out the Los Angeles Dodgers Monday night to take a 2-1 lead in the National League Championship Series. The Brewers' pitching staff, led by Julius Chassin, held the Dodgers scoreless for the team's third shutout win of the postseason. Jeremy Jeffries earned the save by striking out Brian Dozier, looked to get out a base-loaded jam in the 9th inning. The teams play Game 4 of the series tonight. Boston Red Sox ace Chris Sales will be back with his teammates for Game 3 of the AL Championship Series after an overnight stay in a hospital because of a stomach illness. Sale was released Monday from Massachusetts General Hospital, where he had gone because of a stomach illness. After he pitched in the series opener at Fenway Park, he was hospitalized Sunday night for observation and did not travel with the team to Houston. Manager Alex Cora said Sale will be in Houston before Game 3 of the series.
Thank you very much, Raimondo. Joining us now at the desk for one last look at the weather is Jessica Hill. So what is it going to look like for the rest of the week, Jessica?
Cloudy and dreary. We do have a few days of sunshine, thankfully, but then after the sunshine, it starts raining. So just make sure that you wear sweaters or at least pack a sweater because you will get rained on when you least expect it.
A little calm before the storm isn't always. It is not really a bad thing at all.
I like rain.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
What do you like about it?
You know, it lets me stay in my room.
That's nice.
Oh, that's very relaxing. Can be very relaxing.
It definitely is.
Well, that's all for today on NewsCenter 15. From all of us here at WCMO, thank you so much for watching. Tune in again this Thursday at noon 30 and 6:30 for another great edition of NewsCenter 15. I'm Landon Santini.
I'm Jared.
Who are you again?
I'm Jared Ruffin.
Jessica Hill.
Good afternoon, everyone.